Level 1. Order Pad Runner. From the pickup window, you grab the steaming burger bag for launch. At the painted launch square, you steady the shaking orange cone line. You weigh hot fries on the cheap food scale before launch clearance. At the greasy metal window, you receive push-through dinner orders. You slide pizza boxes into the red thermal sleeve before loading. Under the drone belly, you snap the lithium battery pack into place. You check 3 late orders on the cracked phone screen. At payroll, you read $3,000 per month from the brown envelope. You clip noodles beneath the vibrating steel drone hook. Over the sauce-stained lid, a cook yells beside the pad. You peel the damp safety vest from your back. Before lift, you tighten the nylon cargo strap around dinner. A drone carries the burger bag past suburban roofs and satellite dishes. Near the hot pad, you pinch the curling thermal receipt. You restock ketchup packets from the condiment crate between launches. Behind the dumpster, you lift the scratched bicycle frame. You mark a food bag with the paper wind label. Beside the fryer, you silence the red kitchen timer. At the metal ticket rail, you squeeze past a runner. You brush prop wash crumbs from the rubber launch mat. Beyond the delivery route, you watch black storm clouds close. At the overflow cart, you count 20 trapped hot orders. You pull the flapping rain tarp over exposed gear. Through the wall speaker grill, you hear angry calls crackle. You reject the swollen battery casing before loading. At dispatch, you rescan the soggy receipt bundle into queue. You press red delay stickers onto cooling food bags. Beside the flooded pad, a waitress throws striped towels. You drag drinks away from the spreading charger puddle. Near the wet pad, you retie the soaked shoelace. You check the black prop guard for hairline cracks. At the plastic drink rack, you separate cold drinks. A drone skims the cedar fence row during dinner rush. Across wet asphalt, you watch taxi taillights smear red. You take dinner from the vending machine sandwich slot. Toward the charging tent, you wheel the gray battery bin. You lift the yellow cable reel from dirty water. On the late bus, you study the Part 107 guide. You bend the blue bus pass under your sweaty thumb. Over the underlined page, you mark Controlled Airspace. Level 2. Certified Delivery Pilot. Into clear plastic, you slide the Part 107 card. Behind Walmart, you enter the humming white operations trailer. You check breakfast wind against the striped windsock outside. On the tablet map, you trace one glowing delivery route. You read $4,700 per month from the pilot paycheck. By the trailer door, you hang the black flight jacket. You spot helicopter traffic on the warning icon. Through the headset microphone, you radio clearance before launch. A drone carries food over cars trapped at red lights. At the pickup sign, you face the Walmart greeter. You park beside cones in the used Honda Civic. After a hard gust, you abort with the handheld meter. You log a clean landing on the landing checklist. Across stacked shopping carts, you track the drone shadow. You defend launch timing under the manager clipboard. Around the school marker, you reroute lunch traffic. You clear the taco order after checking the weight slip. From your mirror, you hang the plastic parking pass. You watch rain bead across the trailer window glass. On the descent feed, you study fence footage carefully. You lower dinner into the wrong yard grass. On the neighborhood screenshot, you study the posted clip. You grip the trailer door handle after the mistake. From the porch, a neighbor films with a phone. You call the customer using the customer note card. On the telemetry timeline, you rebuild the mistake. You sign beneath your name on the incident report. Through the request button, you call recovery dispatch. You straighten the tilted headset against your neck. Over the soggy fries carton, you answer refund threats. You calculate return reserve on the battery gauge. From the label roll, you print an address correction. You check the miniature windsock above the cones. Under the invoice, a restaurant owner blames you. A drone outruns a delivery car through neighborhood turns. After landing, you reset the painted launch square. For the medical helicopter alert, you pause launch. Beside the wrong mailbox, you notice the blinking doorbell camera. You wear the embroidered patch on a proper jacket. Inside the glove box, you store the cracked phone. You pin apology notes beside corrected maps. After midnight, you complete the console training form. Level 3. Autonomous Fleet Operator. The command room glows around moving citywide delivery orders. Across crossing route icons, you track 4 drones. You check the alert queue before touching controls. At the console, you wear the black branded polo. You defend a first reroute under the senior badge. Around the restriction circle, you route smoothie orders. You confirm drop zones through the landing camera tile. Near the logistics dock, you pocket the Tesla keycard. You store the cracked old phone inside your locker. On the board, you assign pizza priority for peak. You catch wind shear on the graph before warnings. 8 drone paths curve across one glowing district. You ground a noisy drone despite the technician wrench. Through the hub button, you call support. You settle the premium headset over both ears. Across reserve columns, you balance returning drones. You approve the grocery drop through camera confirmation. A dispatcher pushes melting ice cream on the order card. You face blue light across tired operator faces. With the joystick, you take manual control. You log sensor temperature after each route. Drones cross highways while cars crawl below. You lower into the ergonomic chair before peak. Beside the console, you touch the studio apartment key. The staffing manager says $7,800 per month means nights. Across the stamp row, you clear 5 completions. You reroute lunches around the police perimeter marker. Across 3 aircraft, you read the sensor fault banner. Drones return with hot meals still attached. You point outward with one headset cup lifted. Inside the headset, you hear stacked refund calls. Runners rush hot food beneath the command window. You feel vibration beneath the server rack base. On the radar tile, you check weather cells. A hub lead curses through the chat window. You split the fleet along return corridors. You open a ticket for vibration alerts. Near the keyboard, you wipe the coffee ring. You match a scorched skid to one route strip. A technician enters holding the scorched landing skid. You move safe flights into the backup queue. In red reflections, you track warnings with tired eyes. You isolate bad sensor serials from the strip. With the green button, you release healthy drones. Beneath a grounded drone, you find a steaming taco bag. You hold routes under the supervisor headset order. You divert burritos from the cul-de-sac marker. Across the screen, takeout icons pulse like beacons. You hand one drone to the west console. You catch duplicate addresses before both launches. Technicians swarm returning drones in the landing bay. From the locker hook, you take the black polo. You claim space under the split monitor arm. From your studio window, you watch logistics lights below. You draw airline lanes across the dry erase board. Level 4. Launch Hub Lead. You face the manager lanyard over extra launch slots. Inside the painted safety circle, you brief waiting runners. You inspect glowing battery racks along the hub wall. Before release, you check the maintenance tag row. You read $8,900 per month from the packet. On the duty board, you assign crews. You hook company van keys to your belt. Sunset drones land, recharge, reload, and relaunch. You spot a cracked drone arm before loading tacos. From cage to charger, you move fresh batteries. A runner protests beside the punched time card. Across concrete, you wear clean work boots. You sign repair tools out from the tray. On the timing clock, you stagger recharges. Vans bring orders while drones rise in sequence. Under the crosswind flag, a pilot refuses launch. You line black hard cases along the concrete. For replacement, you tape damaged propellers. You call kitchens over the prep radio. With chalk, you update the landing order. Behind the tent, you hear the repair cage rattle. Beyond cones, you watch the city inspector car stop. You show morning records beside the inspector notebook. Inside one sleeve, you find the missing log. You trace the circled morning flight number. On concrete, you spill the tag box open. A technician swears over a grease-marked glove. You match battery serials to flown aircraft. You ground 3 drones with grounded markers. Beside the halted pad, you count cold tacos. You answer refund demands on the tablet screen. Through the second arrow, you reroute launches. Under hard floodlights, crews restart the hub. At the loading rail, you replace a runner. You cut one route at the reserve marker. 15 drones cycle across the active hub. Against evening wind, you secure the blue tent. Under the order tablet, you defend tomorrow. You hear a bad motor inside the housing. Before dinner peak, you count returning drones. Inside your garage, you stack labeled tool cases. On the regional tablet, you face repeat warnings. You label every cage with audit dates. At sunrise, you train leads with the sheet. You leave clean boot prints through battery dust. Across the tool wall, you mount branded labels. Inside your toolbox, you keep the cracked phone. Onto your belt, you clip 3 site keys. Level 5. City Drone Delivery Manager. Tech crews restart storm shutdown pads beside the van convoy. Behind the SUV seat, you hang the fitted jacket. You visit the first Walmart lot before sunrise. Past the pickup barrier, a store director argues. You redraw delivery zones around noise complaints. Near the main hub, you plug the EV cable. You check staffing boards across 3 sites. By the command trailer, you claim reserved parking. At permit glass, a city clerk pushes back. You study the North Hub restart sheet. Drones rise again from 3 distant lots. During lunch prep, you walk the stainless table. A chef blames drone timing over cold burgers. Against your forearm, you strap the tablet. You shift vans before East Battery's strand crews. Inside the lease folder, a lender cites $13,000 per month. You interview site leads near charging racks. An insurance broker questions every near-miss report. Through the storm gap, crews resume launches together. Beside battery racks, your best lead refuses. You receive the resignation envelope beside the racks. Across the schedule board, you watch 3 sites collapse. You redirect crews from the van step rail. Beside the lunch cooler, a technician refuses transfer. You build crew rotation on the emergency sheet. Between hubs, you drive under the midnight clock. Under the seat, you kick loose energy cans. Across the city map, you watch yellow warnings flash. You cut delivery zones with the trimmed overlay. A chain executive asks whether expansion is safe. You ride the technician van bench to the broken pad. From your high-rise window, you watch hub lights below. An operations director offers ownership terms. You list surviving people on the staffing sheet. At dawn, you tour the roll-up door. You leave the City View apartment dark. At headquarters, you pass your empty reserved space. A banker questions scale over a coffee cup. You sketch the micro-hub model on cardboard. With yellow tape, you measure the bay floor. Across the bay, you scuff polished shoes and dust. A landlord demands proof with the keyring. You call city contacts from the loading dock. Across empty floor plans, you compare hub layouts. Beside the industrial key, you sign the micro-hub lease. Level 6. Micro-hub owner. Under your glowing logo, you face the industrial bay door. On fresh asphalt, you inspect twin launch pads. You unlock the dispatch room before sunrise. With the tablet, you test the first drone. Beside sprinkler pipes, a landlord complains. Runners queue night orders while both pads launch. You count folded uniforms before training. Toward the bay, you guide the branded cargo van. You balance mixed orders across the rack. Over the contract, a coffee owner demands lower fees. You stack drone crates inside your suburban garage. Beside the hiring sign, you recruit runners. You lock battery cages with numbered seals. Around dinner peaks, you schedule charging. A city official questions noise during demos. Above the crowd, a demo drone lifts cleanly. You load spare drone arms onto repair shelves. On the nameplate, you polish your company name. You tune launch spacing with the timer. A platform partner challenges radius on the tablet. The bookkeeper says $45,000 per month gross, before costs. Beside the van, you hang employee uniforms. Drones carry pizza, tacos, and coffee under floodlights. You catch the bad battery lease clause. Over the calculator, your co-founder questions expenses. You order replacement propellers from the supplier box. At the staff fridge, you count energy drinks. Across the map, you route commercial corridors. You receive the exit folder on the table. On the worksheet, repairs, refunds, and leases swallow margin. You shove the rolling dock door open. At the keyring, the co-founder removes keys. You renegotiate batteries beside the loading dock. With the key ring, you train a supervisor. On blue paper, you watch the approval stamp dry. Through the owner-free walkway, you watch a supervisor run the hub. At the menu card, an owner demands guarantees. You trim weak routes from the service map. Near the launch floor, a union rep watches. Both pads blaze through a packed night launch. You lock cages with the final battery lock. Inside greasy gloves, your hands smell like plastic. You rebuild the landing leg in the vise. Inside the desk drawer, you keep the cracked phone. You stamp launch tickets before lunch rush. Beside your sign, you drive the branded van. Across the table, you spread repair invoices. You calculate utilization on the warehouse wall grid. An insurer raises premiums after the bird strike. You sign the pizza chain pilot packet. Beside the van, you set out fresh route decals. A demo drone lifts before Second City officials. In your kitchen, you hang the framed logo print. A Second City demands stricter safety terms. You design a modular launch kit. For the possible location, you pack expansion crates. A supervisor tapes labels onto copied hub gear. Onto steel, you stencil the next city code. Level 7. National Food Drone Network Owner. Rows of drones power up inside the national hangar. Outside the terminal, you step past the black SUV. You watch branded vans reflected in glass HQ. Above charging docks, you walk the mezzanine rail. A restaurant CEO demands rollout in 5 cities. You compare air corridors with operations chiefs. Live routes pulse across several metro areas. Across the hangar, your executive team moves in formation. You board a morning flight with the pass sleeve. From the terrace, you overlook a quiet tree line. An insurer questions night storms on the risk chart. You separate risky suburbs from profitable corridors. Crews feed launch pads like runway trucks. Before ribbon cutting, you tour the warehouse. You stand on the private mezzanine plaque. A mayor asks about backyard privacy. You offer altitude buffers on the diagram. With the regional director, you shake hands. 12 drones launch from the new hub. Before investors, the CFO says $1 million plus per month gross. Inside HQ, you frame the cracked phone. A retailer negotiator demands lower order costs. You connect vans, pads, and kitchens on the board. Between hubs, you ride with the transfer badge. You study aerial footage of 3 connected launch pads. Along the hall, you line approval plaques. A regulator challenges safety data at the microphone. You call the safety chief forward. You walk investors past maintenance bays. Technicians service drones in parallel rows. Your SUV convoy carries mayors and executives. Before the demo wall, you face the national food chain logo. Residents chant outside the City Hall hearing. At the hearing, regulators pause approval. You mark 2 states red on the rollout map. On City Hall steps, you answer protesters. A mother raises the child sleep photo. You offer curfews on the proposal board. Field teams measure sound on porches. Test drones fly quieter routes over empty streets. Beside the old stamp, you place the revised approval. Inside HQ, you display cities beneath your logo. An operations VP warns about stretched crews. You freeze one expansion on the marker. Through the jet bridge, you board before sunset. On the suitcase tag, you mark 3 crossed cities. Night hub convoys cross airport service roads. A privacy advocate raises backyard photos. You redirect debate toward the corridor screen. Inside a converted warehouse, you open a hub. Drones lift from multiple cities on one countdown. For visiting crews, you hang branded jackets. A council member demands quieter propellers. You approve the quiet propeller prototype on site. With fire officials, you tour battery storage. Charging docks blink in long, illuminated lines. Investors ask whether the sky stays profitable. You point to utilization on the model display. Mayors and chain executives fill your mezzanine. Across the hangar, you nod to launch directors. Vans, crews, batteries, and drones move in sync. Dozens of food drones lift beneath your company name.